Hello and welcome to another session of Talking Tech with a Friendly Tree. Today we're going to talk about combo composition in Tekken 7, specifically focusing on Nina. Now in this video I'm not looking at talking about the most optimal combos you can do, I more want to break down how Nina can combo, okay? So first off, how do combos work in Tekken 7? The most common way is a juggle system. So a combo is any situation where one move can link into another and it's guaranteed. In Tekken, it's usually by floating them into the air and performing what we call a juggle, as while the opponent is airborne, there's nothing they can do. These are a couple of different examples of different juggles that you might see Nina do. I've added notations throughout the video, just so if you're curious as to what I'm actually doing, you can try and replicate it yourself, without having to try and figure out which move is which. In previous titles, if you've launched someone into the air, it may be impossible for them to get out of it. This would be an infinite juggle. But there are different mechanics that they've put into Tekken that make it impossible, make it so you can't do an infinite. First one is pushback. So if you look here, if I launch the opponent and I just do standing jabs, the opponent gets further and further away slowly. If I try and dash forward, you can still see they get further and further. So this pushback means that something that you may be able to link earlier in a combo, in a juggle, you may not be able to link later on. This also plays effect in wall carry. You see that down forward one at the end? Pushes them quite a way away. If we do more hits beforehand, we do the down forward one, they go even further. So you might be thinking, how does this affect the wall? And pushback doesn't really affect the wall. When it comes to the wall, it's more about the person slowly falling down. So hits that would link higher up, no longer link. Next we want to look at scaling. So if we do a launch here, normal hit, you see it does 100%. The follow-up hit, after you've got someone in a juggle, does 70%. Following hit does 50%. The next hit 40%. And then every single hit after that is capped at 30%. This will change slightly if you're using rage arts. When rage is in play, you can have damage that does less than 30%. When you get a counter hits do more than 100%. But once you've juggled them, the following hits are not counter hit and the same scaling applies. So with that logic in mind, it makes sense to do a heavier hit earlier instead of wasting an early hit on a low damage jab. And this brings us into the order of operations. So a juggle normally starts with a launcher, followed by some kind of filler, then a tailspin, then a post tailspin. Some people might go straight for a tailspin and then do some kind of filler after, but this is a basic format. I talked before about wasting jabs on the scaling, you'll do less damage. So here you see the quarter circle forward 1 first does 46. If we do the jab, then the quarter circle forward 1, it does 43. So that's 3 extra points of damage just by swapping the order around to do a more damaging attack first. Common filler includes down forward 3-2, and that's good because you can cancel it into the quarter circle forward by holding forward. And from there you can go straight to the tailspin of while rising 1, 1 plus 2. So that's a basic format of the combo. So you do a launch, you do filler, you do a tailspin, and then you do a hit afterwards. So more into the common filler option. So as well as down forward 3-2, we can get a bit more complicated. So, such as up forward 4, up forward 3, you do have to do a little bit of a dash to get it to link. But this is a pretty easy option in terms of Nina's things. Now this is called the jack combo. The down forward 3-2 side step right into side step 1. Originally it started with doing up back 4 after, and that does do more damage, but it is a bit more difficult. Nina's quarter circle forward 1 is also a very good option. It's very high damage and it's easy to link together. Although it gets a bit complicated to do 3 in a row, you have to practice the timing for that. Of course, doing while rising 1s, instant while standing 1s, very good. Off certain juggles you can't get the whole thing because of the height. And probably the worst option, but it's consistent, is you doing down 4-1 into something. Either down forward 1 or down forward 3-2 depending on the height. Alright, so let's have a look at some of Nina's tailspins and the follow-ups you can do depending on the number of hits before the tailspin. I will remind you again that these are not all optimal, but they are high damage and not too difficult. So she's got while standing 1+2, 3 hits. She's got down back 2, which is 1 hit, but quite slow, so quite hard to link. There we go. And it does also go straight into a tailspin on counter hit. Forward 3, which is 2 hits. Down 2-3, which is also 2 hits. Forward 2-1-4, which is 3 hits. And then the last one you won't see too much is while standing 4-3. This pushes him back very far and doesn't recover too well, so it's quite hard to get a follow-up. You can get a while running 1+2 though, much else. Okay, so if the launcher is the tailspin, you can get this follow-up, which is 41 damage if you consider the scaling. If you launch and then immediately do a tailspin, you can get the same follow-up. Because of scaling, it does a little bit less damage. If you get a launcher, then 1 hit, then the tailspin, that follow-up's not going to reach. So launcher, 1 hit, then tailspin. Oh, sorry. You can get this follow-up for 25 damage. Trying that follow-up with the launcher 2-hit tailspin, it's not going to reach. So launcher, 2 or 3 hits tailspin, you can get this for 17 damage. When you get to 4 hits before the tailspin, the most damage I've found is quarter circle forward 4-2-3. And then 5 or 6 hits, you can do while standing 1 into forward 1+2. Of course you could do these later follow-ups when you've done less hits as well, so this is a good option if you're unsure what to do earlier on. And you can change the forward 1+2 for a while standing 1+2 for wall carry, or a 1+4 for a floor break, or lots of different things. 7 or 8 hits, you can do a quarter circle forward 1 for wall carry, or you can do a while running 1+2 for 3 more points of damage. Anything greater than that and you're going to struggle, but you could get a while running 1+2. Okay, so when putting it all together you need to think of what you want. Are you wanting wall carry, are you wanting damage mid-screen, or are you wanting to go for Oki? So here are just some example juggles and how much damage they do. I'm just doing them off a few launches, so down forward 2, which is a common 15 frame, but anything off a down forward 2 will also work with a back 1+4. And you can just see how the damage varies only slightly. So the max damage I'm finding is using while standing 1, but it's pretty low, pretty different compared to much easier options where you can get just 3 or 6 less points of damage. Much less damage if you do something like that straight into the tailspin. That's following my rule there, but I realised because of the side step right, you can get while standing 1s, so you get a fair bit more damage. Okay, and any juggle you get off an up forward 2-1, you can typically get off a down back 3+4, or you can get off a down back 4-3 if you're doing that for some reason. So you've really got to have in mind what you want to achieve with these combos. Well, that's it for this video, guys, so thank you very much for tuning in and paying attention. As always, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter as well at @friendlytree. And how about commenting below just what sort of combos or juggles you've been doing with Nina, because there's lots to explore, lots of fun in practicing and learning Nina combos. Well, thanks everyone. See you at the next video.